Yo, hey, been a while. Haven't done reviews for the last 5 days because of re- reasons that is not interesting. But now I'm back to do my bad reviews about the thing, and I couldn't agree any bit more about doing a review of none other than Fairy Tale. C- Giving a lot of circle answers finally. This secret is actually a chapter that I have been demanding for a long time. At the beginning, I didn't think this made sense, but now it actually does make sense. The origin of the dragons. 400 years ago, Irene lived in a place where dragons and humans lived in harmony. It was called the Dragnov Kingdom. And the dragon that was, I think, at Irene's side were a dragon called Belserion. I have a theory about who that man really is, but let's give that a rest for now. Either way, the back then dragons this in this kingdom the dragons and humans were at peace with each other, which is a little bit contradicting though, given to the fact that Seraph said Igneel was one of the few dragons that wanted to coexist with humans. This almost makes me seem like this kingdom did not exist at that time. But Belserion talked about how the dragons from the west were eating up people and that they were soon gonna get to Ishgard. Uh, the Belserion wanted to prevent that because for many centuries this kingdom of Dravnel actually had been friends with humans, which is very strange. It's very strange for a dragon besides Igneel to actually say that he wanted to protect the the humans so much. Back in the presence, Irene talks about that this was what was called the Dragon King Festival. It was a war that began with the kindness of dragons. Of course, Erza and Wendy, well, are a bit surprised. And how come Irene hasn't aged? Well, we are not gonna get that anything else. But she does reveal something very interesting about all. Uh, when they were trying to fight off the the evil dragons, Irene invented a way to channel enchantments into weapons, giving perhaps a way that could fight the dragons. However, the dragons of the west, who were the more violent one, actually had the upper hand. It was then they decided to invent the Dragon Slayer magic. However, it wasn't the dragons that invented the Dragon Slayer magic. Well, actually, we should have seen, oh well, duh, it's a dragon slaying magic. But this answers also why god slaying magic exists. Because it's magic created by humans. And the one that created the dragon slaying magic is none other than Irene. Or Eileen. However, back when she was talking to Belsirium, how lamenting the fact that how many of his brothers were going to die, uh, and how much in his past uh, saved many times of his life. He has a big debt, and he must pay that. So Irene wanted to fight by Belsirion's side. So Irene said, "What if we could enchant me with your dragon power? The power to fight evil dragons, dragon slayer magic." It's not exactly confirmed for me though if that was the Lacrima power or if it was the true dragon slaying magic. Of course, that makes Irene in a way the mother of all dragon slayers, whatever if it's organic or inorganic. Then we see the scene of Lucy taking off her clothes and keeping Natsu warm. It's it's a little bit like that, but still, I think it's some kind of heartwarming moment. Back in when Natsu's mind, now it is Wendy and Gajeel, two of his mind, who's talking to them. And Wendy's subconscious talks to Natsu, that the one who invented Dragon Slayer magic was Irene. And then Gajeel also appears. Natsu demands what, but while they say to Natsu, "Do not be surprised inside your own heart," Natsu just says, "But that's all you guys are doing. Aren't you here to show me the cause of my death?" but they just said this is a journey. This is a journey into your own memories. So Irene begins to talk about how their strategy to give people the power to fight dragons were many successful, but as the Jade Dragon told about, there were some horrible mistakes in doing that. However, now it is finally revealed what kind of mistakes. The power of the dragons actually started running into the human bodies, and that's what made them ferocious. And also the lack of synchronization between the dragon's sight and the human's perceptions actually created motion sickness. That is so cool. He actually, we all thought that that motion sickness was going to be some kind of gag, but no, it is actually because of dragons' very strong sight ability. It collided with the human's perception. That is why every dragon slayer feels sick every time they drive, and so in that moment the humans became ferocious, and dragon seed were growing inside human bodies. And Irene herself was starting to turn into a dragon. It was during that time Erza was in the womb of Irene. However, it will take some time. We will be knowing exactly what this means. But there have been a lot of theories about Acnologia saying that dragon slaying magic made him that psychotic, and now it seems to be true. It doesn't just seem to include that there were some humans who were racists, or I mean haters. It seems to be more like the dragon slaying magic wasn't just some kind of magic that the humans uh, got mad with power with. No, it actually made them incontrollable and ferocious. So is this a clue on Acnologia? Or are you saying that Acnologia's insanity got absorbed too? Given what we've seen of Acnologia, it's clear that he's insane, but it also seems like he's embracing his insanity, saying, I don't care. Meaning that probably he is one of the few who actually wanted to be insane. Which he is in this Dragon King festival, we know that. And Irene was also turning into a dragon, but from what we can see of her right now, she doesn't seem to be that way. But this seems to, at least this answers the question of why she is alive 400 years ago. A dragon has a very long lifespan after all. Also, if Erza was in her womb when she was turning into dragon, that also answers the question of why Erza is so tough all the time. She has dragon-like genes. This also could even mean that Erza herself could learn dragon slaying magic. I think that's the key to defeat Irene. Very well, it could very well mean that that human face we see of Irene is a fake mask. It could actually be she has a dragon face. Still doesn't answer the question of why Irene is such a bitch, but I think we'll know next. Also, Belsirion. I had that crazy feeling could it be that Belsirion is Erza's father? I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be a little bit creepy, but it seems like Irene and Belsirion had a very close relationship, so who knows? All in all, this is some kind of answers I really like. We now know why Dragon Slaying was created, and we know why it was so dangerous. This also answers why the Dragon Slayer, the Dragon parents of the old generation were inside their bodies, not just to turn into Acnologia, but because it could make them insane of all times. So yeah, next chapter is called I am you, you are me. The same line Eileen once again told me, so what is that gonna mean? But there have been some hints that we're not gonna get a chapter next week. So give me your thoughts if you have any.